Hey, black boy, you think just cause you're at home, you're safe? That's what that cop spat out before yanking Elijah, bloodied and terrified, out of his own living room. That right there, yeah, that's the moment everything changed, not just for him, not just for his mom, but for the city that thought it had seen it all. The cop figured he could flex his power, humiliate another kid, then get a pat on the back. Instead, he picked the wrong mother to cross. The woman in orange, screaming and crawling across her living room floor, isn't just another parent with a broken heart's a legal storm, and she's about to rip his world apart, word by word, law by law. Social media exploded. Videos spread like wildfire. But ask yourself if it happened in your state. Would justice mean anything, or is it just a badge and a joke? Because sometimes the law feels like it was made to protect everybody but you. Elijah wasn't some troublemaker, was a skinny honors kid, hunched over textbooks, drowning in legal case studies, holding on to hope with both hands even as the world tried to yank it away. He hung that justice for all poster above his desk, smoothing out the creases, willing the words to mean something. Every night, his mom, Raina, moved through the kitchen like she was performing a ritual, brewing tea, tracing the inscription on her ring, justice first, remembering every promise she ever made to herself and her boy. And right before everything shattered, Elijah emailed his mom his latest essay titled, Why Justice Matters, like maybe words could save them. Maybe hope was enough. Then, outside, the sirens started howling, red and blue lights slicing up the darkness, painting shadows on his wall. You ever felt your heart pound so loud you think the neighbors can hear? That's how it was for him, pressing his knees to his chest, pretending those thin walls could actually protect him. Raina stepped in, setting the tea down, running her fingers through his hair, kissing his forehead. Mom, if they try to take me, will you save me? His voice shook not a little kid's plea, but a challenge, tossed into the dark. No one's taking you anywhere. Not while I'm breathing, she whispered, her eyes already hard as thunder. Outside, the sirens faded, leaving a silence so fragile you were afraid to breathe. But hope is a dangerous thing. It lets you dream of safety, even when the world's already aiming for you. The pounding at the door came sharp and sudden, a drumbeat to a nightmare nobody ordered. The teacup jumped off the desk, smashed on the floor, hot tea turning cold, biting at Elijah's toes. Raina tried the police chief's number, nothing but a busy signal, that awful hum. In that second, she wasn't a mom anymore, she was a weapon. Elijah stumbled behind the sofa, clutching the torn edge of his poster. His teeth chattered, the fear thick as syrup, his breath all jagged edges. Outside, shadows flickered, officers moving like predators. We know you're in there, boy. Come out now. Not a request, a threat, wearing the mask of the law. Elijah whimpered, Please don't open it, Mom. But Raina squared up. Stay behind me, she said, her voice slicing through the panic, hard and clear. The officers shuffled, boots scraping the porch, flashlights cutting the room into jagged pieces. Elijah's knuckles blanched on the poster, veins popping, knees knocking. Then, the door exploded inward. The commander stormed in pure malice, wrapped in a badge. He grabbed Elijah like he was snatching trash. Raina lunged, but the baton caught her shoulder, sent her crashing into a bookshelf, blood streaming down her face. Elijah screamed for his mom, clawed at the rug, the air, anything. The cop threw a thick file on the table, manufactured orders, forged charges flying everywhere. Raina, blood in her eyes, bellowed, Don't touch my son. The commander sneered, planted his boot on Elijah's poster, grinding it into the floor, turning justice into a joke. Elijah writhed, desperate. The commander jerked him up, slammed his head into the table, blood spattered everywhere. Raina pressed a cloth to his wound, crying and screaming. The commander only smirked, then kicked the teacup across the room, shards flying, one stabbing Elijah's bare foot, blood pooling under him. Elijah gasped, dragging himself toward his poster, each inch a battle. Fight, Mom, he whispered, voice shredded, hand pressing the paper, blurring the words with blood. Raina screamed his name, wiping, pleading, but the blood kept coming. The commander watched, amused. "This is justice," his eyes said, smug and cruel. But Reyna rose, eyes wild, face a mask of fury and pain. "I will bury you under the law you thought you owned," she hissed. The commander's smirk twitched, fear creeping in. She slipped her prosecutor badge from her sleeve, her final ace let it fall, metal flashing in the dim light. The commander looked down, saw his own death warrant in the gleam. "You don't know who I am yet," she rasped. "You will." Everything after that felt like it happened: underwater flashing lights, hospital corridors, Elijah clinging to life, machines beeping. The city roared as the truth poured: online videos, files, audio recordings. Hashtags burned through the feeds. The commander's voice, "Make that boy an example," became a loop confession, a digital guillotine. By the time Reyna stepped to the courthouse podium, holding the smashed security camera aloft for the world to see, there was no going back. The crowd gasped as the video played Elijah's screams, the commander's twisted grin, every blow an insult broadcast for all to judge. "This is what you call the law. Let me redefine it for you," she thundered, pointing at the screen. The city held its breath. And then, a courtroom drama unlike anything before. Reyna in her patched orange dress, badge glinting, Elijah wheeled in, battered but unbroken, poster in hand. She faced down the commander, read off his crimes, slammed the forged reports on the stand. "You are the disease. I am the cure," she snarled, voice slicing the air. Elijah stood, came clattering to the floor, holding his poster like a shield. "This was supposed to be my protection. They turned it into my wound," he said, voice trembling but fierce. He told the court about the pounding at the door, the night his world was razed, how his mom's promises battled against the sound of fists and boots. "Justice isn't given," he said. "It screams from the floorboards of our homes." His words turned the courtroom into a cathedral of tears and rage. Jurors wept openly. The commander's attorney walked out. The man himself collapsed, sobbing, ruined. Reyna's closing words cut deeper than any sentence the judge could give. "We didn't push you over. You jumped." And with that, the empire built on lies was reduced to dust. Outside, the crowd surged. Elijah lifted his battered poster. Mothers wept, strangers hugged, cameras flashed. "This is not the end," Elijah called, his voice ringing through the city. "This is the correction." Reyna's hand on his shoulder was a promise. Never again. When a verdict dropped guilty on all counts, 25 years, no parole, Reyna and Elijah embraced, tears streaming. But this time, the pain had been transformed into armor. "We started it," she whispered. "Now let's guard it." And as they returned, home door creaking open, sunlight spilling over scars, and fresh resolve, Elijah hung the framed poster on the wall. Every bloodstain and tear a holy relic. In the world outside, murals bloomed, hashtags flared, and leaders fell. But inside that home, justice didn't end with a verdict, it became a vigil. Now let me ask you, where do you stand? Does justice live on your street? Or is it still just a promise with holes in it? Drop your thoughts below. Tell me who decides what's right and who gets to walk free. This conversation is yours now.